This is CNN Breaking News.
Hello and welcome to CNN Newsroom. I'm Lynda Kinkade. It is 8 in the morning in Tel Aviv, where Israelis have gathered in Hostages Square to celebrate news that Israel and Hamas have agreed to the first phase of a Gaza ceasefire plan. US President Donald Trump made that announcement, saying as part of the deal, Israel will withdraw its troops to an agreed-upon line, and Hamas will release all remaining hostages, likely by Monday. The families of Israelis still being held captive in Gaza have expressed excitement that their loved ones could soon return home. Former hostages also celebrating the news.
I can't believe it. Elkanah, Yosef, Segev, Bar, Maxime, you're coming back home to your families. I can't believe it. I can't believe I'll see you, hug you. Wow, I'm excited. I'm waiting for you. Can't wait to hug you already. I'm dying to. Oh, what a day. Thank you, Trump.
Celebrations also breaking out on the streets of Gaza as Palestinians cheered the breakthrough, which they hope will mean an end to the two-year war. Hamas says it has provided lists of Palestinian prisoners to be released as part of the deal. UNICEF's global spokesperson says Palestinians are now feeling an immense sense of joy and relief.
People ask, do Palestinians have hope? Yes, they have hope. They have hope because it's the one thing they have agency over. They have hope for a better future, and that better future starts with education. Education is that future. These are the things that Palestinians will need right now. Education, nutrition, water, no airstrikes, peace. Yeah, it's a day of hope.
A day of hope. Well, for more on that, CNN's Paula Hancocks is following the developments from Abu Dhabi and joins us now live. Great to see you, Paula. So after 2 years of war, a breakthrough, this deal agreed to just hours ago. Just take us through the reaction you're seeing.
Well, Lynda, the reaction from the region is one of joy, one of relief. The fact that this ceasefire is finally going to go ahead. Certainly, people in the region are waking up to this news now. It's 9 a.m. here in Abu Dhabi. We have seen on the streets of Gaza the reaction from those Palestinian civilians who will finally be seeing a lack of airstrikes, a lack of bombing. We have heard from our stringers on the ground, though, that there is still some activity, some military activity ongoing in Gaza City, but certainly it is a lot lighter than it has been in recent months. In fact, over the past 2 years. On the Israeli side as well, in Hostage Square, we saw incredible scenes of joy, of relief. We are seeing people arriving at the square as well in the early hours of the morning as that ceasefire deal was announced by the US President Donald Trump. So there really is a sense of relief across the board that this has finally got across the line. There have been many moments when this deal has looked close and at the last hurdle it really has collapsed. We have seen that a number of times and there have been bitter disappointments on all sides when this deal has not gone through. But the fact is, what we're seeing now is this realization of the first phase, according to the US president. One of the key mediators here, Qatar, announced that this will end the war. It will see the release of hostages, Palestinian prisoners, and the entry of aid. That is a key part of this. Humanitarian aid, we are hearing from the United Nations and from NGOs on the ground, is sitting at the border waiting to get in, waiting to be able to create that surge to ease the suffering of civilians in Gaza. Lynda?
Yeah, hopefully that surge of aid gets in quickly. And of course, the first phase of this deal, Paula, includes this hostage prisoner exchange. How soon could that happen, and how prepared are both sides to follow through?
Well, what we've heard from the US president at this point is that he believes the hostages could be released as early as Monday. Now, from a technical point of view, this still needs to be approved by the Israeli cabinet. We understand that the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has called a cabinet meeting for Thursday. He is quoted as saying this is a great day for Israel, but this deal does need to be ratified in Israel. And once that has happened, then the clock can start ticking, and potentially what we saw in the first version of the 20-point plan was that there would be 72 hours, and within that time, all of the hostages would be released. We also understand that there will be up to 2,000 Palestinian prisoners released as well. We did hear a little more from the US president speaking on Fox News about what comes after that initial first phase. Let's listen.
I think you're going to see all of that disappear. I think you're going to see people getting along, and you'll see Gaza being rebuilt. We're forming a council that the Council of Peace, we think it's going to be called, and it's going to be very powerful.
And that Board of Peace will actually be headed up by the US President Donald Trump. Linda.
Right, Paula Hancocks for us in Abu Dhabi. Thanks very much. We are going to stay on this story. Joining me now from Los Angeles is Dalia Dassa Kaye, a senior fellow at UCLA Burkle Center for International Relations. Great to have you with us. So, this war we've been speaking about for 2 years, it's been absolutely devastating. This new ceasefire deal is being described as a historic breakthrough. From your perspective, how would you describe the first phase of this agreement?
Well, it's certainly good news, and you can see it from your reporting how much relief and celebration there is in Israel and Gaza, across the region. So if it hopefully will happen within the coming days, where you get the key elements, most critically, an end to the fighting, a release of all the hostages, Israeli hostages, and a surge of aid, which is so desperately needed. If those things happen, this is a huge first step, but I think we're still short of calling it a breakthrough. And we need to, I think, pause and understand that after 2 years of so much destruction and devastation, you can't just snap your fingers and reverse everything overnight. So it's the real question is how difficult it will be to get to the next stages. And there are serious challenges ahead, despite the good news today.
Yeah, serious challenges and, of course, quite a few stages. The first part of the stage, of course, is this hostage prisoner exchange, which could happen as early as Monday. How pivotal is that exchange to the credibility of the entire deal, and what risks could potentially derail it?
Well, it's incredibly critical. This is one of the major Israeli war aims, and let's be realistic here. To get to this even first stage ceasefire deal, both sides had to give up on maximalist objectives. So the Israeli aims were dismantle Hamas and get the hostages out. If this succeeds, they will have accomplished a very critical war aim, and also an aim that is very, very important to the Israeli public. The majority of the public wants this war to end, wants the hostages out. So without that, it's going to be very difficult to see the Israelis motivated to end the war. And Hamas ultimately did not get its, full interest in having an Israeli withdrawal all the way out of Gaza. There will be only a limited withdrawal. That's a key question of whether Israel completely withdraws at the end of this process. But it is surviving. It is not a dismantled organization. It's weak, it's diminished, it's not capable of attacking Israel again in the way we saw it on October 7th, 2 years ago, but it's still there. And so I think those are the big challenges. And the security question is most critical. And this, even if this first phase happens, the real question is going to be, who's going to demilitarize Hamas? Who's going to enforce that? How do you make sure there's enough security to get rebuilding and the difficult governance questions underway? These are not simple issues.
Yeah, certainly those aren't simple issues, and either is the humanitarian catastrophe that we have been discussing that's been unfolding in Gaza. This plan promises a surge in aid. How quickly could we see meaningful relief on the ground, and what are the logistical and political bottlenecks in getting it in there?
Well, I think this has been an ongoing issue, but if the Israelis have the political will, and I think they will, with President Trump putting his full weight behind this agreement, I think no side has an interest in scuttling it, at least at this stage. The question is whether there'll be follow through. But the UN is prepared. One of the good news aspects of the new plan is that it is not going back to this very poorly designed humanitarian aid structure that was really actually a killing field for Palestinians. It is going to return to UN mechanisms. I think those mechanisms will be ready and able and prepared, but the border has to be open. The Israelis have to be able to facilitate it. And you need security on the ground. You need the fighting to be stopped. And so we need to have a sustained end of fighting, not just a pause, but a sense that this is it for good, that this is really the end of the war. We had a ceasefire in March. It broke, the aid started coming in again relatively quickly, and it broke down 3 months later, and we have the 8 months of devastation. It's what's so tragic that it took so long to finally get to this day. So if the political will is there, if you start opening the borders, secure the situation on the ground, I think that we can see a dramatic change very quickly, and it could not happen soon enough.
Yeah, exactly right. Hopefully this is indeed a success. Dalia Dassa Kaye, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.